Superelevation. Superelevation, also known as banking or cant, is the tilting or inclination of a road surface to one side in order to counteract the force of gravity and provide a centrifugal force that helps vehicles maintain control while traveling through a curved section of roadway. Superelevation is typically applied to the outer edge of a roadway on a curve, with the high side of the road being elevated and the low side being level. The amount of superelevation required depends on the design speed, radius, and angle of the curve, as well as factors such as weather, traffic, and road surface conditions. Superelevation is used to improve safety and reduce the risk of vehicles sliding or skidding on curves, and is a common feature of road design for high-speed highways and other roads with significant amounts of traffic. The formula for calculating the appropriate amount of superelevation is as follows. E equals V squared, R tangent phi, plus G, 2V squared, tangent phi 3. Where E equals superelevation, in degrees. V equals design speed of the roadway, in mile per hour. R equals radius of the curve, in feet. Phi equals angle of the curve, in degrees. G equals acceleration due to gravity, approximately 32.2 feet/s squared. The formula takes into account both the speed of the vehicles and the radius of the curve. It also takes into account the angle of the curve, which is the angle between the tangent of the curve and the centerline of the roadway. The angle of the curve is important because it determines the amount of centrifugal force that will be experienced by vehicles on the curve. The formula also includes a term for the acceleration due to gravity, which is important because it affects the weight of the vehicles and their tendency to slide or skid outward on the curve. The appropriate amount of superelevation will depend on the specific design parameters of the roadway, such as the design speed and the radius of the curve. In general, the superelevation should be as small as possible while still providing adequate safety for the vehicles on the roadway. This is because excessive superelevation can cause discomfort for the passengers and can also increase the wear and tear on the vehicles. The process of building a road with superelevation is known as superelevation, and it starts by taking into account the expected speed of vehicles, the radius of the curve and angle of the curve. After that, the road is then built to the exact specifications determined by the formula above, which will make sure that vehicles going around the curve will be able to maintain control and not skid off the road. Here is an example of a problem that can be solved using the formula for superelevation. Example: a highway curve has a design speed of 60 miles per hour and a radius of 2,000 feet. What is the appropriate amount of superelevation for this curve? Solution. First, we need to find the angle of the curve. We can use the formula. Phi equals 360, 2 pi r, 5,280. Where r is the radius of the curve in feet and 5,280 is the number of feet in a mile. So for this example, we have phi equals 360, 2 pi 2000, 5,280, equals 8.73 degrees. Next, we can plug in the values for V, R, phi and G into the formula for superelevation. E equals V squared, R tangent phi, plus G, 2V squared, tangent phi 3. E equals 60 squared, 2000, tangent 8.73 plus 32.2. 2 times 60 squared, tangent 8.73, 3. E equals 0.0086, or 0.86%. So the appropriate amount of superelevation for this curve is 0.86%. This means that the outer edge of the roadway should be elevated by 0.86% of the radius of the curve to provide the necessary centrifugal force to counteract the natural tendency of vehicles to slide or skid outward on the curve. Please note that this is an approximate value, and the actual super elevation may vary depending on the specific road design, and other factors such as the weather, traffic and road surface conditions. A typical range for super elevation is between 2% and 8% of the radius of the curve, depending on the specific design speed and other factors such as the weather, traffic and road surface conditions. If you like this information, kindly subscribe our channel and get notification for upcoming informative videos. Thank you.